What's up guys, and welcome back to another tuning video for me again today. Today we are going to be looking at the anti-roll bars. In the last episode we looked at springs and how you can set your base values for them, and how you can use the telemetry to help you set that with the spring telemetry and the offset values. Hopefully you guys found that really helpful. So I'm going to continue today with the anti-roll bars and try and explain this to you and give you an idea of how you can use these in conjunction with your springs to set your car up. So the first thing we're going to look at is the description for the anti-roll bars that's on the tuning setup page on Forza 5. So we've got the anti-roll bars, also called sway bars, provide extra stability when cornering. They control unwanted body movement and balance understeer versus oversteer in steady state cornering. For example, in the middle of a sweeping turn. So a sweeping turn, think of it as the first big right-hander on Catalunya. That's quite a sweeping turn. It's large radius, it takes a while to get around it. And when you turn left or right, the car body tends to roll in the opposite direction. So as we said yesterday, when you turn left, all the weight rolls to the right and vice versa. By tying the left and the right side of the suspension together, anti-sway bars make the car's ride more level, keeping one side from rolling or swaying more than the other. So how does that apply to our car? Well, here you can see we've got a static rear view picture of our Ferrari, and you can see that as we take a left-hand bend, for instance, signified by the arrow at the top, you can see that the car on the right-hand side will go down and the car on the left will go up. This is the body roll, and this is what we want to try and cut out as much as possible. So what the anti-roll bar does is, as the car compresses on the right-hand side, it will actively push up to try and reduce that downward body roll on the right hand side, and then it'll also apply that force to the left hand side as well to try and keep the car as flat as possible. Remember, if we've got one side of the car dipping or blowing more than the other, that's the body roll. So we want to try and keep it as flat as possible, as we can see in this picture, and that's what the anti-roll bars do. So what settings should we have our anti-roll bars at? Well, if we start off with really soft settings, what you'll find is that you'll still have a large amount of body roll through the corners, and the anti-roll bars won't be working as effectively as they could be. Likewise, if you've got your anti-roll bar settings too high, then as the anti-roll bar pushes up on the outside wheel, it'll also push up on the inside wheel, and you'll actually get to the stage where the inside wheel will come off the ground, and you won't have any traction with that wheel in the corner whatsoever. So that's bad as well. So too much of anti-roll bars is just as bad as too little. You've probably seen this if you watch touring car races of any kind. You'll see it, especially the British touring cars, they're often set their anti-roll bars where they have one wheel come off the ground. So the anti-roll bars also control the amount of understeer or oversteer the car gets. And you can see in these two videos now what the difference is between understeer and oversteer, just to give you guys an idea of what to look out for when you're driving around testing your cars. Both are bad. Too much understeer is terrible because you can't get around the corner, and too much oversteer is just as bad because it wants to get around the corner too much. So the way they can control the amount of understeer or oversteer car you get is through the anti-roll bar settings that we've got on screen. As you can see on the screen, if the front settings are higher than the rear settings, this will promote understeer, and likewise if you've got it the other way around, where the rear settings are higher than the front settings, then this promotes oversteer. And these can be tweaked as much as you want. The main thing to remember that when you're trying to tune it is, if you feel the car is understeering at the front, then it's always best to fix the end where the problem is. So if you're understeering, don't increase the rear one just to try and compensate for the front. Always try and change the front one to fix the front, because you might make the car more stable, but it won't be as optimised and as fast as it could be. And likewise, if the car's oversteering quite a bit, then don't change the front to try and affect the rear. Change the rear settings and try and get them dialed in to stop the car from oversteering anyway. So the best thing to do when you're tuning your anti-roll bars is to take your car out on track, have a drive round, and maybe start with either very low settings or very high settings and tweak them from there. If you've got your settings too low, the car will feel a bit sluggish, and you'll get quite a lot of body roll through the corners, and likewise if it's too stiff, then your car will be quite twitchy through the corners and maybe a little bit hard to handle. So yeah, it's down to feel. That's how you set your base ones, and then likewise when it comes to oversteer, understeer, just take note of how your car is in mid corner, and if it's oversteering, then obviously reduce the rear anti-roll bar slightly, or if it's understeering, reduce the front anti-roll bar. So yes, the way I do it is basically down to feel, and I don't use any telemetry for this. It's how the car feels to me when I'm driving it. And that's how much I pretty much tweak it. I'll tweak it in small amounts, because often a small amount does have a huge effect, and sometimes if you tweak it quite a lot, then it goes too much, and you have the reverse of the problem. So I hope this has been a big help to you guys. I hope I've covered everything. I hope it made it a bit easy for you to understand what the anti-roll bars do and how they work, and how you can change the settings on the tune setup page to make your car that little bit better. So next one, I'm going to try and do the one that everybody's been waiting for, the bump and the rebound. So I'll cover that, so hopefully that should be interesting for you guys as well. And as always, if you enjoy this, guys, feel free to hit the like button or leave me a comment below. Share these videos. Obviously my aim for these is to try and get everybody tuning their own cars, because as much fun as it is you guys driving mine, I'm sure you all want to be able to tune your own. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all have lots of fun with your tuning and your testing, and until next time, I'll see you all soon.